Okay, so thank you for coming today. This is going to be super loose leaf, so if you are following along, you can go to remax.net, open up kvCORE in there. So basically, today is just going to be very intro, bare bones. It's going to be how to set up your account. And certain things you have to edit in here and why you want to do it. I'll show you how to add your MLS number, add a signature, add your contacts, and what hashtags do, because they're pretty important for the system as a whole. So if you've gone through here, chances are you would have seen the checklist there, which you should have had completed by now. So the first thing we'll be looking at is your My Profile. And now you can click here, the button that says Edit Profile. You can see a lot of this stuff is grayed out. If anything is grayed out, it's because we have to update it on Max Center, okay? Because the way kvCORE works, hey Arvin, is that it pulls all your info from your Max Center profile and it pulls it into here, syndicates it so it's all synced. So the first thing you'll see here is your MLS number in your account. And all that is, it's your board number. So whatever you log into Matrix with, put that there. If you don't have that there, any listings you have that show up on the kvCORE website of the company won't be linked to you. It'll show somebody else random at this company. Don't ask me why. The way this thing works is it syncs your board number to the listing and then it matches it, okay? So first thing you want to do is you got to put your MLS number in here. You don't need, some of you might have a long-winded number that puts in there automatically. Delete it. Put your board number, your matrix number. Then from here you can edit your from email. So that would just be any correspondence that people get. If it's automated emails or mass emails, anything you send, that's the email it'll come from. You can edit your name there, your website. It'll probably just default to whatever your kvCORE website address is. But if you see mine here, I have a GoDaddy domain, so I'm able to just put that there because that forwards to my kvCORE website. The other option you can see here is we have options to add lenders, okay? And what this does is this can add one of our RBC lenders to your account. So I don't have the ability to add everybody's lender because I know everybody uses ones differently. You guys know we're paired with RBC. So I just put the 4 of them in as a back end. If you want to be paired with one, you can put one in there. And all this does is every time you get a lead, it'll share it with them. So they can call the lead and say, hey, you know, do you need mortgage advice? Do you need financing, etc.? And also what that does is on your website, that allows you to have, I guess, a financing section on your website, and it can link to their pre-approval section on their RBC website there. So it just allows you to have that little bit extra financing section on your website, okay?
So I can't add someone from TDK. I can only add RBC people.
Yeah, because I have it in on I would have to individually add every single extra person, and I'd be adding 30 people, right? So we just have the lenders in as a back end. I can check about that. I don't know if there's a way for you to individually do it because I have to pre-populate them and I have to get all of their info and all their website and all their license numbers. So I just have it for RBC, okay? Then the next section down here, the About Me section, again, you can't edit this on kvCORE. You would go over to Max Center, you'd click on Update Your Profile, right? And so I guess that would be one of the first things you want to do too when you're setting up your account. You want to make sure your Max Center profile is as up to date as possible with the most info, because you can see under personal details, you have a personal bio, and this bio is what your About Me section is going to be. And the About Me section in kvCORE is what's put on your website, okay? If you don't have an About Me section, if you don't have a bio filled in, In Mac Center, you probably have some default generic wording there. But if you want to customize it, put a blurb about yourself on your website, that's how you do it. To update the About Me, you're going to have to go to Mac Center and update your personal bio. And then while you're in here as well, under your contact info, this is where you can add any social links or websites you have. And again, they will update if you have any here. You can see I don't have Instagram or Pinterest, but if it's grayed out, it's because you got to update it in Mac Center. And then it'll pull that info over here. One of the other things you can do too is your email signature. Now this is probably the easiest thing because you can just take your email signature from whatever email you're using, whether it's Gmail, whether it's Outlook, etc. You can just simply copy, highlight your whole email signature and paste it in here. It should take all your hyperlinks, all your photos, all your images. Like I just copied this from my email and I just plopped it in there. And then again, once you're done editing everything, you gotta come back up and click the save button. Just don't forget to do that. But again, you can have your full email signature in there. And you will click this little slider to include your email signature in all outgoing email. Okay? Because you want to make sure any email that the system's sending out on your behalf or anyone that you send out will include your email signature saying, you know, you're Pato-led realtor with Remax Preferred. It's got your photo and all that stuff, just to keep things consistent there. And then down here, that just shows you what info will come, because you also have the ability to have automated texting as well. So in that case, it'll just say your name and then Remax Preferred. And then the section down here, this is just other additional info. If you want to add any extra credentials or background or community involvements, this is stuff that will just show up as information. Okay, so you can add these just to complete your profile as much as you want. And now going over to the right side here, under the settings menu, okay, you have the ability, you know, if you are going on vacation, you can click this to place yourself. What that'll do is that'll place you out of lead rotation, so you won't get any leads that will come to you if you're out or you're busy. You also have the ability to have sliders for holidays, okay? If you don't want any communication, any of the automated communication, emails, phone calls, anything, you can shut those things off for certain days under the settings. And then one of the last cool things I will say over here is they added this is new, appointment availability. I will show you in the contact section, but they added the ability for you to set appointments in your contacts. So now in your CRM, you can keep track of everything, phone calls, conversations, etc. And you can also set appointments in your CRM. And you can do it right there while you're on the phone. And what the point of the appointment availability is the window you're able to set appointments in, okay? So that way when you're looking in there, if you don't want to set an appointment after 7 p.m., it'll only show you what you have available from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can just set your windows there. That's something if you want to use it, but just if you're curious about what it is, that's what it is. And again, when you're done, you got to make sure to click the save button up top so that it saves everything in there. So, we'll go take a look at the Smart CRM. So they've updated this a bit here. You see they got filters on the right. You can filter people through, whether it's through a hashtag or a type, etc. To add an individual contact, so if you're talking to somebody and you add, you know, one every day or a few every week, you can go individually up at the top and click Add Contact. And here is where it'll tell you what's required. So kvCORE is always going to require an email, because at the bare bones of everything is a lot of this stuff is done through email. And then everything else besides that is optional, right? So if you're gonna go through, and then if you have a phone number, you can put it in there. And then when this comes down to permissions, this has a lot to do with, you know, the Canada anti-spam and that, right? This says, yeah, I have permission to call. You got to click these on. This tells the system that yes, you can send automated texts, you can send automated emails, okay? You can fill in, obviously, address and stuff here. You can sort them. You know, you can say, okay, the lead owner is, I think if you just leave this blank, it'll just go to yourself, right? Because if you add it, you own it. You can assign a smart campaign right off the back. We'll get into what smart campaigns are. But the thing I want to note here is under the notes, this is where you can add hashtags, okay? Now what a hashtag is in kvCORE, it is a way to sort your contacts. So you can search your contacts by hashtags. So say if you have, I don't know, you have friends or families, you can put hashtag friends, and you can sort your contacts by just show me my friends, or just show me my families, or just show me my buyers from you know, this email campaign or whatever it is you have. You can sort them here. You would just put in a hashtag, and then you would type in whatever it is you want. I'll just put one in just to show you how it would come up. And you add a contact there, and you can see any hashtags you have for them will pop up on the left. And you can also see the hashtags right in here quickly, so you can quickly see from a view.
So you're just categorizing those contacts, like friends or family or whatever?
Yeah, and then the other thing is, like, if you pull up the filters with this little arrow here, you could say, you could sort your hashtag, or you could sort your contacts by a hashtag.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And my internet's spinning. But if you sorted it there, if I had direct internet, it'd be a little quicker, but you sort it there, you would click, and you can click apply or show filters, and it'll sort your contact list down to only those people that have that hashtag on it. Okay, that's a quick way to look at it if you want to. But the other reason we have hashtags too is because it enables automation. Okay, so one of the biggest things about kvCORE in general is it has these things called smart campaigns. We'll go remind to look here. So we have these smart campaigns in here. Now basically what these are ways to stay in touch automatically, or a reminder to prompt you to do a task to stay in touch with a lead or a client, okay? By default, this campaign here, it's called default new lead buyer. By default for everybody, this campaign is on. So anytime you get a lead that comes in from remax.ca and you click accept, it'll automatically apply this campaign to them. What this campaign does is it says immediately, hey, you can see here, prompts you to do a task, send them a text or give them a call, okay?
Would that send a text message to your texting?
So if you can see where it says method here, if the method is a task or a call, that means you have to do it. It'll say, hey, Barb, you know, you just got Joe Schmo added as a lead, call him, okay? And then what will happen is 7 minutes after he gets added, if he hasn't responded, the system, if it says text SMS, that means the computer, the kvCORE will send a text on your behalf, right? And anytime you want to see what anything looks like, you can click edit, okay? You could say, it says right there, hey, thanks for requesting property info on the site. Just curious, you active searching for property or just browsing? Okay, and it says these squiggly brackets here, agent name. All that means is if it's a squiggly bracket, it's just automation. So that's going to put in your first name. Okay, that's what that means there. And if you want to edit any of these things, like if you go into yours here, default new lead buyer. So you will see right here, it says own company, okay? Because corporate has gone ahead and made these campaigns for you, okay? You won't be able to edit one that says company. So if you want to edit any of the default ones, you can clone the campaign. You can go into the company one, you can click clone, okay? And all that will do is you can go through these and it will copy it. Okay, you say, yeah, start when the lead is new. Okay, always run, yes. Next, we're copying the buyer, so it's for the buyer. It'll say you can name the campaign here, but it's just going to leave it as that. And then if you do that, you can go down here now, and you can see I got default new lead buyer copy. Okay, yes, I know I have two of them, but this is the one I just copied from the company one up here. So you would go ahead and activate that, yes. And now when it's active, you can change any of this stuff. Any of this stuff you can go in, you can edit, you can change any of the text, right? So you can change it to say, you know, if, oh, I don't like how that's worded. You can change any of that stuff. So any of the automated emails, any of the automated texts, you can go in here and you can edit it. So you can see this email says, okay, this will send after a day. So after a day of coming in, it'll say, hey, thanks for checking out. It'll put your kvCORE website in there. You're looking to buy soon or browsing. Regards, your name, last name, office name, cell phone, email. Okay? And everything is all Canada Anti-Spam compliant. So everything is very easy for them to unsubscribe at one click or one text of no for both the automated text and the automated email. Okay, so it's all compliant there, so you don't have to worry about it. So that's how you can go through there. And the idea with this campaign is you can see it starts when the status is new lead. Okay, so if we go back to our contacts, we can see I'm categorized, I just added myself here to test, categorized as a new lead, anything that comes in. So the way this works is you get a lead that comes in, you accept it, whether it came from the random, you click accept, or whether it came from one of your listings. It'll come in as a new lead. The system is basically trying to get a response. So it's going to say, call them, text them, we'll text them, we'll email them, we'll text them again, you call them, we'll email them. And it basically goes until it gets a response, okay? Once it gets a response, the system will automatically change the lead from new lead to active lead. Because the computer sees it now, okay, this person finally got back to us. It's going to change it to an active lead. Now what it'll do, that new lead buyer one we said, it'll take them off that and it'll put them on a new one. Because it said this is no longer a new lead. We don't have to try to get them to answer us. They already answered us. So they assume you're in communication once they reach out either through the text or through the email or they call, okay? It'll know and it'll switch it over and it'll change it and it'll put them on a default active lead. And all that is, it's a reminder for you once a week to say, hey, call this person, stay in touch with them, okay? So it's not gonna send them all those things forever. It's just gonna do it until, you know, because they're new leads. You gotta call them 8 to 12 times before they actually pick up the phone, okay? So the system knows that. So it's doing that, it's talking to them, gets an answer back. It'll automatically switch it there in that respect.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
So if you get a lead and you immediately call them,
Mhm.
and you call them, and you call them. So the system also keeps calling them, because I did not get any answer. I left messages, they didn't call back. So what, where do we?
Yep, so the system will never call them automatically. All the calling comes from you.
Okay.
Now that's a good question too, because there's two ways you can call from the app. Okay, so you can log calls in kvCORE here. Now the only way the system's going to know you called them is if you manually log it or you call through the dialer. Okay.
If you're
Now,
on your own, then system will not know. If you're calling from your cell phone, it will not register that no, you're calling.
yeah. Now that's not the biggest worry to me, because if they do call you outside of the smart number and you know, okay, I am in touch with this person, you just manually go in and you change them from new lead to active lead, which is as easy as clicking this up here, right? Clicking the little checks, or simply clicking the actual thing here. You get a little drop down menu. So that's simple enough, you can do that. But that's a good question too, and we'll go over that. So if you want to log calls, because you want to know what you talked about, you can click on somebody's profile here, you can click new call. Now there's two ways to do it. You can call now, you can say, yeah, call them. Basically what that'll do is kvCORE will call you, and then it'll call them, and it'll connect you on the cell phone. Okay, so it calls your phone, calls them, connects it. Or you could just manually log a call. Like I'm a guy who likes to just go through the contacts and on my phone and just click call. And then I would just log the call. I'd probably have this up while I'm talking to them. I'm taking any notes while I'm talking to them. I'm saying, talked about when they're ready to sell, maybe in June, And then you have the option here to say, yeah, I contacted them, they weren't home, bad phone number. So we're gonna say it was an outbound call, I called them and I contacted them, okay? Now you can see that'll log it here. So next time you go to call them in June, anything you talked about, you'll obviously take more notes than that, but you can see what you talked about, right? You also have the ability to just do that by simply adding a note, okay? So, and that's obviously the biggest benefit of a CRM is you want to know what the conversation was you had last time so you can continue it the next time. So that is a way to do it there when you're talking about calling people. So, we know how to add contacts there. We know how to categorize them with new leads, hashtags there. Another day we will get into more deeply what the hashtags are and what they can do, because there's a lot of really cool automation we can do, especially when it comes to lead gen. And that'll probably be another topic we have down the road, whether it's a couple weeks from now or whatever, because you got to have a pretty decent understanding about the program before we get into that, because there is a lot of really cool stuff we can do with that when it comes to automation. Okay, but one of the last things I want to show you here is, so we know how to add the contact, we know how to edit them there, we know how to log calls, we know how to update there. We can also mass upload, okay? So if you have a CSV file from your previous CRM system, or wherever your leads were coming from, you can import them. If you got hundreds of contacts, you can import them here, so it'll automatically just pull all of them in, okay? Now how we do that is we open up the side menu here, and you just click on Lead Engine, okay? Lead Engine pulls up a lot of this great stuff. Some of this stuff we'll get into later. But we're looking for now under here is bulk lead import, okay? And there's two options. If you think you're tech savvy enough, you can do it yourself. What you'll do is they'll have you click there. You can download a template of how they set up their CSV file. You'll have to match all your columns in your Excel file with their columns, because it's a computer. It's just looking at the field and it's saying yes, put it in, no, it's wrong. Or you can have them do it by themselves, and it'll come up automatically, and it'll take up to 3 days. 3 business days they do it. And, you know, each import, they can do up to 7,000 contacts. So basically what you would do there is you'd have your CSV file exported from whatever previous CRM you may have had before, or exported from anywhere else. You click submit file.
Do they charge you for that?
Nope, it's free. So what you do, you submit file there, you accept, you go next, and then you basically just follow the steps here. Okay, it's got your info, you just say you're an agent, you're a broker, where you are, they're your leads, and then at this point, this is where you're going to choose the file. And you'll have to go through your computer, wherever you have your CSV file downloaded, you just upload it there. Okay, a lot of this stuff you might not have if it's separate note files. You can add hashtags, or if hashtags are in your spreadsheet, you can put where they want, or maybe you want to add hashtags because say, you know, these are my contacts from this system. You have the ability to do that en masse. You can categorize them. Now, since you're doing this automatically, yeah, you can say they're categorized in a separate column. You may have to tell them which column in the CSV file they're categorized as. If you leave it blank, it'll default upload all of them as buyers. And then, yeah, you might have to take 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how many you uploaded, and go through and say, okay, yeah, Jim's a buyer, or Sally, I sold her place last year, and categorize your people that way. The idea is they're going to upload, you know, your hundreds or thousands of contacts, however many you have, automatically. Okay.
One more question, that
Yep.
what happens like when they have anniversary dates, birthday dates, do they do something for that, or do we have to do
Yeah,
that? Do you have
it should pull all of those. So if you have those in there, if you're doing these automatically, they should run and look through and see, okay, you know, there's a birthday file, there's that file, there's that file. They're pretty good at taking the info there and bringing it in.
So they will do it.
Yeah, but if not, and if that ever is a problem, you could always reach out to them. They have good support, and again, our support is done through Remax. So we are getting Remax support with kvCORE now. So if you ever have that issue, say you uploaded and say it is missing birthdays, right? You can reach out to support there just by using the chat box.
Okay.
Is this a Remax program or is it always?
No, the company that owns this program is called Inside Real Estate.
So it's for all companies.
Yeah, so Inside Real Estate owns kvCORE, and kvCORE is a publicly sold software. Like anybody on their own could go and buy it. It just costs a lot of money. Okay?
It's very complicated, I'll tell you. It's not easy.
It's very robust. Yeah.
That's a maintenance. I think
That's a
my
good word
phone
for it.
is just easy. The name and phone number.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. So I mean, that's why, you know, I want to take the time and go over. I tried to keep today as simple as possible because there is a lot you could do with it that's very in depth, but you could just mainly use it as a very simple CRM and leave it at that, right? If that's what you're fine with, that's great, right? This is here, it's included, it doesn't cost you anything extra. Use what you want. You don't have to feel bad about not using it. If you don't like it, don't use it, right? If you like one part of it and you don't like the other part of it, use that part, forget the other part, right? Some people may use it for a CRM, but they don't like the lead gen. Or some people say, well, I have a CRM I like, but I do like the lead gen on this. And some people use it like that. And that's another
They don't
point.
have any newsletter that they send, that's what they are still missing, right? They don't have a newsletter.
Yeah, there's no automated one. Like some other ones, like, you know, I use Exact, and they had the audit where you set it and forget it, right? Yeah, this is a bit more hands-on than that. You can set those things up ahead of time, but you're going to have to procure your own articles or pictures or stuff to send out to people. Yeah.
And there's a lot of YouTube videos on this too, like how to use it.
Yes, and thank you, Renee. Actually, that's a good point here. I'm going to show one thing, then I'll talk about that. So just so you know as well, we talked about, you know, you can go through here, you can bulk import. You can also export your contacts, okay? So if you ever want to pull your contacts out of here, you can export them, right? You can go through here and you can click all, you can go more actions, and you have the ability here to export your contacts, okay? And that will export them as a CSV file, which then you could upload anywhere else, okay? So we know how to import them in, and you can also export them out if you want to put them anywhere or do anything else with it, okay? And then I will touch on what Renee said there. So within Max Center, okay, we have Remax University. You look for the tile. If it's not here, you go to Apps and Tools, Learning and Education.
That should be 2-year program in college.
Yeah.
Learn everything what's possible to use it up to.
Yeah. So you're looking for, this isn't the broker one, but the agent one should show the same. Oh, mine has changed. But you'll see it on yours. You're just looking for a tile that says Max Tech. Okay? And they have, well, maybe mine's not working. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's on the Wi-Fi down here. I'm not sure. But they have courses you can go through there. Okay? They have courses you can click and you can go through and watch on it. And another good thing too you can do, what is the website? It's help.kvCORE.com. Yeah. So I guess it forwards. So you can go to help.kvCORE.com or you can go to help.insiderealestate.com. Okay? I would write that down, I'd save it. You can search anything. If there's something you're trying to figure out how to do in kvCORE and you can't, you go to this website and you just type in what you're trying to do. You type in smart campaigns, you type in whatever, right? If I type in, or let's type in hashtags, like, you know, and it'll pull up a lot of different articles. Management, right? How to edit, and you gotta look. You're looking for articles that say kvCORE, because again, remember I said Inside Real Estate owns kvCORE. They also own other companies here. You can see K+. We're not using that, right? How to mass email listings to a hashtag, okay? And they have a lot of things documented. They have steps, they have GIFs you can look, they have photos, step-by-step stuff. So this is a great resource you can use if you're ever stuck on anything or you don't know or you want to find an answer out really quick for yourself right away. We have different ways to learn to do that. You can go through Remax University or you can go to their help website there. But that's all I wanted to go over really today. Mass email, text, hashtags, yeah. But that's kind of, I guess, the base. That's the intro of it, okay? Renee.
I was gonna buy the lead generation Facebook ad from kvCORE, but it didn't automatically populate my website on there. So like if someone clicked on it, you know how it sends that person to another link, like it's a pipeline.
Yeah, it'll send them to the listing on your website.
Okay.
The kvCORE website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
And
I would say
have you used those before? And I used them once.
we got agents using them. You know, I get email reports that come through every now and then when people use them, and it gives me the report and saying, okay, they got 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 impressions, X amount of clicks. They got 20 leads from it. They got 8 leads from it. They got 30 leads from it, right? And yeah, that is one we'll get into another day. But I would say just make sure your profile is set up and everything, because again, that feeds your website, and make sure your website's set up too. And we'll have another day on how to set up and customize your website too, right? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm designing this for. We're gonna just take this in baby steps, right? And today we're gonna do this, today we're gonna do that, right? So if you wanna know what the next one is, I'll be sending an email out, but we'll probably dive into more about smart campaigns. Okay, we'll say how to edit them, how to create them. We went really briefly over that today, but we probably will go more deeply into smart campaigns next Tuesday. But for today, that was pretty much it. That should get you set up, and you know how to add contacts, you know how to upload contacts, you know how to add hashtags. And again, later we will get into why hashtags and smart CRMs, because they basically empower the whole system when it comes to automation and sorting. So